violations the human rights abuse. This is because in 2013, the National Human Rights Commission of Korea announced that it is also necessary to lower the voting age and set the modes differently depending on the purpose and nature of the elections.
Our committee is prohibiting many things for teenagers, like smoking and drinking alcohol to protect them. I think this topic is the same. Teenagers don't have enough experience and a critical view. Therefore, if younger children have the vote, it's too dangerous. As it is an important vote for us, we should allow it when they have sufficient ability.
There are three reasons to lower the voting age. First, prohibiting voting, which is a fundamental right of the people, because they are young, should not violate human rights. Second, if young people are involved in the campaign, they can understand the importance of voting. Third, campaign provides students with education opportunities to experience and understand political issues. If students actually need to vote, wouldn't they be in the social study books?
It is hard to form political values in the curriculum. In fact, political education is only for student conference activities. The subjects law and politics, and even this kind of education has raised several problems. The experience of participating of politics can have educational effect. But if you experience it, you can follow the trends around you, or you can pick the wrong person because you are immature.
It is the prejudice to think that just because you are young, your judgment will not be mature. Furthermore, in the age of an aging society, young people must be given a chance to vote in order to reflect various opinions. Young are also citizens, and if they are citizens, of course, they have the freedom to choose their own life and various situations. Any citizen who has his or her position and thoughts and worries about his or her life can have the right to vote.
It is not easy for students to understand politics. By the way, if these students vote, the wrong result could come out. It is difficult for students who are busy studying to make accurate judgments about politics.
Teenagers are objective without stereotype. Most adults have a confirmatory bias on one party on politics and are very subjective voter, but teenagers won't. Teenagers still have immature knowledge and experience, so they can make the wrong choice. But teenagers should also be given the right to vote because they have to experience the wrong choices.
I'm against lowering the age of presidential voting because it's hard for children and teenagers to make mature judgments because they don't have enough life experience and knowledge yet. And I think we need quite a lot of information from the perspective society for the right vote. Also, I think it's a little lower voting rights. I agree that I can reflect a little more opinions, but I think that students' political education is irrelevant in the curriculum organized and operated around the entrance exam.
Young people have enough capacity to participate in elections. This is because teenagers are old enough to make political decisions based on their own judgment, because they can get a lot of information through the internet.
To sum up all the participants' ideas, we can summarize the ideas into two parts. For the pro side, they emphasizes human rights and democratic inclusivity, and for the con side, they worries about the risk of the immature judgment by the teenagers. And let's start our debate again with Sai.
But isn't it a contradiction to say that teenagers don't have enough experience, and critical view, yet we allow them to make other important life decisions like choosing their career path or pursuing higher education.
Those decisions are different. They don't have the potential to impact the entire nation. Voting requires a level of understanding and responsibility that may be beyond their current capabilities.
If we want them to develop understanding and responsibility, we should involve them in democratic process from an early age. Lowering the voting age provides opportunities for that engagement.
But the current political education system is insufficient. How can we ensure that young voters are adequately informed about complex political issues?
We can improve political education, but there shouldn't be a reason to deny them the right to vote. The right reading through participation and engagement.
It's not just about education, it's about the ability to comprehend the nuances of political decisions. Teenagers might not fully understand the consequences of their choices.
True. But they can also bring fresh perspective and objectivity that others often lack. We shouldn't underestimate their capacity for critical thinking.
Making the wrong choices in a vote that determines the fate of the nation is a risk. We cannot afford. Perhaps we can consider lowering the voting age for local elections first.
Local elections are a start. But young people should have a say in the broader political landscape. They are the future and their voices should be heard.
I understand the importance of involving youth in the democratic process, but we need to prioritize their safety and development. Voting for local issues might be more appropriate than national elections.
Local issues are closer, but national decisions also impact their future. We can exclude them from decisions that shape the direction of the entire country.
Even if we allow them to vote in local elections, what guarantee do we have that they will be well informed? The risk of uninformed decisions remains.
We can implement measures and enhance their political awareness, such as integrating comprehensive politics education into school curriculum.
But how do we ensure that the education provides unbiased and equips them with the critical thinking skills necessary to make informed decisions?
It's valid concern, and we should work on developing a balanced and unbiased curriculum. However, we can't deny them the right to vote based on potential problems that we can address.
What about the argument that teenagers are more objective and less biased in their views? Do you think that can truly make decisions without being influenced by external factors?
Teenagers are exposed to diverse opinions and information through various channels. They may be more open-minded than adults who have already formed strong political biases.
Open-minded is one thing, but experience also plays a crucial role in making informed decisions. Can you really expect them to understand complex economic and foreign policy issues?
It's true that they might not grasp all the complexities immediately, but denying them the right to vote based on the lack of experience perpetuates a circle of the exclusion.
What if we establish a system where teenagers can undergo a political education program and a critical thinking assessment before gaining the right to vote?
That's an interesting proposal. It ensures they are adequately prepared and can demonstrate the necessary understanding before participating in elections.
It's compromised the acknowledge that need for education and preparation while granting that them the right to engage in the democratic process.
Each word is flowing, but we need to be cautious not to create barriers that could disproportionately affect certain groups of teenagers.
Agreed. The goal is to include their voices without perpetuating inequality.
Following all the disputes and discussions today, each participant has their reasonable evidences, which means they're all good and there's no wrong or right answers. The one thing is we have a consensus on the better democracy and we need to finalize our debate, starting from Seo again.
In conclusion, lowering the voting age is about recognizing the rights of young people and involving them in decisions that shape their future. With proper education and support, they can contribute meaningfully to the democratic process.
While I appreciate the goal of inclusion, we must prioritize the safety and development of our youth. Perhaps a gradual approach, starting local elections, is a more balanced way to introduce them to the democratic process.
The future of our nation on the active participation of our younger generation. By lowering the voting age and propelling ethical education, we empower them to contribute justly to our society.
Deny young people the right to vote based on stereotypes. Injust they are citizens with a stake in the future, and lowering the voting age ensures a more representative democracy.
I still have reservation about effectiveness of political education, but if it's a requirement for young voters, it might mitigate some of the concerns. However, we need to ensure its fairness and effectiveness.
While I acknowledge the importance of youth involvement, the complexity of political issues poses a challenge. We need to find a balance between inclusion and ensuring informed decision making.
Teenagers can bring fresh perspective to politics, and giving them the right to vote is to step toward a more inclusive democratic. They might lack experience, but they can make up for it with objectivity and open-mindedness.
I remain cautious about lowering the voting age for presidential elections, but I am open to exploring the proposed education assessment system. We must ensure it doesn't create unintended barriers.
Young people have the capacity to contribute to the democratic process, and denying them the right to vote is a missed opportunity. The proposed system can address concerns and create a more informed electorate.